Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are on this Saturday. Hopefully it's a good one for you. Um, it could be better for me, but at the same time, I felt like I've deprived you guys of a stream all week, so I had some time on Saturday. I figured let's get stuck in. So yeah, glad to see you guys. Glad you guys could make it, especially on short notice. I know weekend streams are not really my thing, and I didn't give you guys a whole lot of time to get here. Especially for you folks that may be on the West Coast where it's still in the morning, or especially the folks that are overseas and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that. So apologies for all that, but the streams come when they come. With that being said, it's good to see everybody. Good to see you, Stuart, Typhoon. I saw Rex pop in at the beginning of the stream. I don't know if they've made it back from letting the doggos out. But yeah, glad to see you guys. The world has not been kind to me the last few weeks. But I'm not going to get into that because that's not what we're here for. We're here for some BTA. And I wanted to let you guys know, because this is important. I've been doing a little bit of work in the game, in the mech lab, outside of the stream. And so, I want to let you guys know before we even get started in the stream, we're in Solaris. And I have already come up with some heresy. And it's going to be good. Well, I think it's going to be good. Anyway, maybe it won't. Maybe it'll be a disaster. But even if it is, I think that'll be fun too. So let's head over to the game, shall we? Oh no. There we go. Sorry for that. Every once in a while, the game doesn't want to capture properly, but it seems like it's working now. But yeah, here we are, right where we left off, sitting at 2.8 million C-bills, sitting in the Solaris 7 system, which is currently owned by the Federated Commonwealth, but that doesn't really matter for us other than who we're doing missions for when we're not in the arena. For those of you that missed the stream last time and haven't had time to watch the VOD, because VOD watching is required if you don't show up at the stream, we did spend some time in the arena last go-around, and our buddy Erst, who is always shiny and chrome, decided to DFA a fire starter off of a 30-story building onto I believe it was a Mantis. And while he did succeed in the DFA attempt, as you can clearly see, it did not work out so well for him. Now, one thing that I did notice in playing around in the mech bay in the week or so since the last time I streamed was that the XL engine we were desperately missing to put this thing back together is in fact in our inventory now. And I'm guessing we must have picked it up at some point during one of the missions that we were doing after the disaster. But as you can clearly see, we do now have a standard inner sphere XL engine. And really, for those of you that don't know, the reason that we want the Inner Sphere XL engine is, one, because we don't necessarily need the clan version, even though the clan version is smaller and reduces weight. But the XL Inner Sphere, and I guess I'll just repair all this real quick to show you. If we put in the XL engine, it's about 125K to put a standard Inner Sphere engine, XL engine, into this fire starter. If I try to do the clan version, it's about 400K. And as the weight goes up, and once we put the actual engine into this thing, which I believe, we were using a 280 last time. We don't have a 280, we have a 275. But we put the 275 in here, and you could see already, with the Clan XL, the price is going to climb and climb and climb. So that's the reason that we typically don't want to use the Clan XL engine if we can avoid it, because while it is better, it is objectively better, it is also objectively way more expensive. Yeah, that's true, Stuart. The clans don't really have to worry about money as much as the Inner Sphere does, but unfortunately that makes using their equipment outside of clan space prohibitively expensive oftentimes. So again, we will keep that, and don't worry, I have plans for this Clan XL engine. I will get to that. I just wanted to start with the devil you know, literally in this case, since we're going to be burning mothers down. But we already picked up a few things. Again, we had binary lasers, we had regular small lasers. We lost one of the Kung Fu actuators, which we do not have a replacement for, but that's okay. But what we do have is a few new toys to play with in terms of lasers, because in addition to the binary lasers that we were using, we picked up a few improved binary lasers in one of our missions last stream. And those are just better all around than the binary lasers that we were using. In addition, we've also got some ER smalls, which are effectively the same as the regular small lasers, but with extra range and extra damage, but also extra heat. So we have the ability now to improve the Disco Inferno quite a bit beyond its initial run. And now that we have the XL engine, we can actually put it back together. I'm a little disappointed that we don't have another 280, but I think a 275 is still going to be fine. That's still giving us a maximum sprint of 13 hexes. I don't think that the 280 would give us more than that. It would just increase our movement speed, our walking speed a little bit more. But yeah, so as far as things that we want to do, the first thing that I wanted to do was swap out this for one of the pulse lasers. We will swap out the binaries for the improved binaries so that we can get a little more damage and a little better accuracy on these guys. And then, rather than the small lasers, because we have enough, my plan is to stick a couple of ER smalls in here. Now, we may have to lose some jump jets as a direct result of that, because I'm putting an extra pulse laser in here. And pulse lasers do weigh a little bit more than your typical small lasers. But at the same time, I think that's worth it. I definitely think it's worth it to lose a jump jet in order to improve our firepower. Because again, using all smalls, this fire starter is good, but the more damage we can squeeze out of it, the better we're going to do with it. Oh yeah, for sure, Stuart. I love the fire starter, especially in BTA and Rogue Tech, because of the flexibility that you get with them. And we're using a lot of support weapons just for the memes. But we have a lot of other options here as well. We could put mediums or larges on the arms. We could potentially put some ballistics in this thing. I have a few light autocannons. We could try cramming one of those in there. But this thing is designed almost entirely from the ground up to run up on dudes and either flank them or burn them down. If it's a heavier mech, we use them as a harasser and a skirmisher. If it's a light mech, this Disco Inferno can usually 1v1, I mean, unless it gets into melee with a dedicated melee mech like the Mantis that we ran into last time, this mech can 1v1 just about any light mech in the game, with the exception of maybe some clan stuff and some whams and some of the other goofy shit. Nothing wrong with that, Typhoon. There is value in Inferno missiles, especially on a platform like a catapult, where you can dump so much volume of fire in a single turn with a well-fitted catapult. So yeah, put Infernos in it, put dumbfires in it, put fast cam in it, and turn the whole battlefield into a minefield. Like, a platform like the longbow or the catapult or the stalker or the archer, like those missile-heavy platforms are great for that heavy saturation. But I think, right now, having removed one of the jump jets, this is the iteration that I would like the Disco Inferno to take now. Again, we've mostly improved the weapon systems across the board by upgrading the smalls to ER smalls, by upgrading the binaries to improved binaries, and improving the small lasers to small pulse lasers in the torso. So all around, we're going to be doing more damage. Our heat efficiency is going to suffer. Again, we're looking at an alpha strike of 56 heat, and we're only sinking 44. Not a lot that I can do about that without something like a double heat sink kit. But we'll make it work. if we're not firing every single turn with the Disco Inferno, then we should be okay, but we'll have to be very, very careful with it. That's the disadvantage to adding improvements to our weapon systems, is that we are potentially hampering our heat sinking ability, but we'll see how it works. Ideally, where the Disco Inferno is involved, we want the engagement to be over very quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and validate this, and we're going to get it rebuilt so that our buddy Erst can actually get stuck in again. Actually, I'll tell you what, let me do this so we can spend a little bit less money. I'll do that, and we'll use one of the lasers that we already have in the machine. So yeah, I think we'll go with this, and we'll see what happens. Oh, SRM carriers being potentially added to MechWarrior 5. Depending on how you play, that could be a big deal. Although I do find it a little strange that they didn't have them in the game to begin with, because that's kind of one of the bread and butter vehicle choices. Like, SRM and LRM carriers are basically the first choice when it comes to vehicles. Like, that's baby's first vehicle, effectively. But anyway, so that's the Firestarter put back together. Now, as for the real heresy, we're going to go over to the Hunchback. And again, if you've been in the stream for any length of time, you're familiar with this Hunchback. We picked it up on salvage. We've been using it a mostly stock loadout until recently. We put an Ultra AC-10 in it. Now, I know that the 4G Hunchback is primarily built to be a ballistics platform, and that is how we've been using it. However, I was looking through our inventory, and I came across something that I wouldn't normally consider, but then I had a very devious idea. And I'll show you. We did not add case. And when I show you what I'm gonna do, we won't need case. So let me show you what I have planned. Because what I saw in our inventory was this right here. Plasma rifle. Now, I've expressed my distaste for ammo-based energy weapons in the past. I have made it no secret. However, on further inspection, looking at the plasma rifle, notice that it does 50 damage and 25 heat damage, and, according to the description at least, there may be stability damage that isn't listed here. Now, it's a very hot weapon, but it's also potentially a very powerful weapon. Now, I understand that the Hunchback is not made for this type of weapon system, and currently we don't actually have any ammo for it. So if we go here, we don't have any plasma rifle ammo. But I do already know from having checked that there is some in the shop. So let me show you what I'm thinking. We're going to remove the ballistics on this thing. We're going to remove the medium lasers. And because I'm going to do something really, really dumb, we're going to go extra stupid. So, I'm going to stick this Clan XL in there. It's going to be very expensive. I know it's going to be very expensive, but we're going to need it. And here's why. Because in addition to this, we have mask. And I'm going to stick that in here too. Because this thing is going to get up in people's faces. Now, we're not done yet. The heresy continues. So in addition to that, we want it to go fast. Oh, the Hunchback Jack in question is going to be me, and if you've been watching any of these streams, Typhoon, and I know you have, you know this is right up my alley. So we have another 275, which is exactly what I'm going to cram into this thing. So now we've got a really fast Hunchback with mask that's going to make it even faster, and no weapon systems. And the only weapons that I intend to put on this thing are the 2 plasma rifles, which, under normal circumstances, will give us 100 damage on target, assuming that we hit. And this weapon has no minimum range. It's not a very long-range weapon to begin with, but it has no minimum range. So in addition to the fact that we're going to hit them with the plasma rifle and do 50 damage and do 25 heat damage on hit, The first line here says it's going to increase the target's heat generation. So that's going to continue to hurt them even after we hit them. We're also going to do bonus damage to overheating targets, and we're basically going to be able to one-time battle armor if we fight them with this weapon. The only downside is that we have basically no chance at all to make a critical hit, but to me, that's a non-issue because we weren't going for criticals anyway. What we're going for is, if I fire both of these weapons at any range and hit with them, we're doing 100 damage and we're doing 50 heat damage to the target that we hit. So this is my idea. Now, in addition to that, we can max out the armor as well. And maxing out the armor only puts us a tiny little bit overweight. So what we have is effectively an extremely fast hunchback that's very heavily armored and is effectively just going to run up into somebody's face, put the plasma rifles to their face, and pull the trigger. And the only problem with this design is I need to go buy some plasma rifle ammo because I don't currently have any. But you can see where I'm going with this. Yeah, exactly, Brayden. We don't have the ammo. That's what I need to go buy from the store. But I wanted to share this heresy because this is what I'm planning on doing today. It is going to be expensive. You can see we're going to be spending almost half of our money. But if you look at the movement here, we're looking at a sprint of 9 hexes. On a hunchback, that is insane. Oh, don't worry, Typhoon. We will give the opportunity to show Rex the heresy. Oh, and one more thing, because I'm going to have to cancel this and go back to the store anyway. Rex, I did something and I toyed with the idea, but I wanted you to see it. Because we joked about this last stream, but I actually did it. There you go. I told you I was going to do it, and I did it. I know it's low effort, but I did it because I had to do it. So for those of you that were not here last stream, and I know it's been a week, the randomly generated portrait for this character that is named after Rex in chat looked very reminiscent of Danny Trejo. And so we made the joke, let's make this character look as much like Danny Trejo as possible. And I made the joke then that I was going to go in and add a custom portrait specifically for that, and that is exactly what I did. In fact, I even went so far as to rename the character, so if you don't recognize this name, Isidore Cortez is actually the name of the character Machete that Danny Trejo plays. So I went the full 9 with this. And yes, it is one. So I even went for like younger Danny Trejo. So this is like 1990s vintage desperado Danny Trejo. Which I say that he still looks pretty old in this picture, but you get the idea. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you, Rex, because we joked about it, but I was sitting around in the midst of my mental health crisis, and I said, here's a fun thing that I can do. And so, yeah, screw it. Oh, don't worry. If we find a mech machete, you better believe that's exactly what we're going to be putting on that. And now that I've worked out how to do custom portraits, I'm not going to commit to this yet, but I have considered putting in custom portraits for all of you folks that end up in the game from chat. So again, we'll see if I end up going that way with it. It's just something I'm thinking about. But at any rate, back to the store, because the thing that we need in order to commit this hunchback heresy is some plasma ammo. And I know that it exists because I did check the store a while ago, but when I was digging around. So, yeah, we can buy 2 bins. I think we buy 2 bins because if you look, we've only got 10 ammo. So with 2 plasma rifles on the hunchback, that would only give us 5 turns of ammunition with a single bin. So I think we need 2 bins of ammo. That's only going to cost us 100k. Now we'll head back to the mech bay, and we're going to kick off this heresy right. And I know, it goes against everything that the Hunchback pilot's motto stands for, to not have as many big guns in the shoulders as possible. I know it makes no sense, and that's exactly why I'm doing it. Because I'm not here for the meta decisions. I'm here for the lulls, and many lulls will be had, I assure you. So let's go ahead and ammo in the feet. Thankfully, it doesn't really matter where we put the ammo for the plasma. Does that count as a sway bag? I don't know if it counts. I thought... So, you guys will have to help me here because maybe I'm a little unclear on the terminology in the Hunchback community. Because I thought the sway back was when you put the weapons on both shoulders. But I feel like I have that wrong. So you guys will have to help me with that. But yeah, I'm going to put the ammo in the feet. It doesn't really matter because this ammo is not volatile. It doesn't explode. But we are, again, effectively creating Hunchback heresy here. So next things up, we need the Clan XL. That's going to make this a very expensive refit, but I don't mind. We will grab our 275. We're going to slam that puppy in here. Let's grab the mask so that we can increase our speed even further. Ah, I see. Okay. No, actually, Rex, this is the same Hunchback that we salvaged several streams ago. And we do have another Hunchback in storage. I just didn't see the need for two of them. But this is our baseline, so I'm going to go ahead and max the armor because I know that we can. And then this is what we're doing with it. Especially for you, Rex, because you weren't here when I initially showed this off. We're going to put plasma rifles in the arms. And that's it. That's 100 damage and 50 heat damage on target if we hit with both. And that is effectively the design. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to tune it down a little bit because it's very, very heavy. But at the same time, this is exactly the kind of heresy that we do in this company. So I got to figure out here. Because I don't remember exactly how I did it, but I got this thing down to the correct tonnage, but I don't remember how I did it. Let me see, because there was something else that I did to reduce the weight a little bit, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it was. No, it was definitely not a smaller core, Brayden. I gotta, because it wasn't the Pharaoh. What the hell did I do? And I wish I had saved the design, but I was in a hurry and I ended up closing out of it before I saved it. Oh yeah, we'll definitely have to come up with a custom name for this as well. That's the other thing. Let me see. I feel like... Man, I cannot remember what the hell I did to make this thing work. But this was essentially the design. I don't know that I want to drop 2 tons of armor. I may have to lose the mask, if I'm being honest. But that was to give our... Because, like, okay, so on the movement side, we're 9 hex with the mask. If I remove it... Yeah, we're still 9 hexes with the mask. So we're not actually giving ourselves that much. Let me see. I think we have a supercharger as well, don't we? That'll give us a little more walk distance. So we could put the supercharger in here. Wait, what? Oh, okay. So we could put the supercharger in here. That'll give us a little bit more movement. That'll up our walk speed to 8. So basically, by using the supercharger, we're going to increase our weapon heat. But with 2 plasma rifles, we're sinking 60 heat on the current design, and I could even remove 1 heat sink, and we'd still be able to full alpha every turn. So, like, if I remove this 1 heat sink, our heat efficiency is going to go down a little bit, and we're heat sinking 56 heat on a full alpha of 58. So we could still effectively fire almost forever without having to worry about heat on the supercharger. The only thing is, even if I max out the armor, we're still missing a little bit of, oh yeah, for sure, Brayden. And that's not just the best way to design a mech. Like, I alpha every turn because I'm a dumb redneck, and that's what a dumb redneck would do. If I'm not shooting all the guns, then why the hell did we put them on the mech? That's my philosophy, anyway. And let me see. There we go. Once again, amateur hour, and I apologize, but I just re-enabled the BattleTech audio. I have to remember to do that. Again, I'm sorry. It's been a week, and I'm a little out of practice at this. But yeah, I think this is at least a good starting point for this design. Well, there you go. I am also a Texas native, Brayden, so I am right there with you. I am all redneck all the time. Or as they say here on Twitch, K-Kona to the max. I am no stranger to doing dumb shit just for fun. But I think this is the design that I want to go with. Again, this gives us very fast walk speed, which is good because with good walk speed, it means that we don't have to worry about losing accuracy from a sprint. I would prefer to put a 280 in this thing, but we don't have one. So at 1,000,000 C-bills, this is a very expensive refit, but I'm anxious to try it out and see what happens. So we're going to validate. It's 1,000,000. It's very, very expensive. But again, you know how we do things here. We're doing it.
Logged and noted. Shouldn't be too hard.
I also need to change the paint job because I found a perfect paint job for this thing. But we're going to have to wait a few days. And wait we will. So 5 days. 5 days. No, I'm sorry, 9 days because of the Disco Inferno. So there we go. Oh no, this is definitely the highest level of heresy. Yeah, we have removed the hunch from the back. And that is what makes this the most heresy. Jimbo, welcome to the stream. Glad to see you. First time chatter, even if it's not the first time you've been with us. Glad you could join us. But yeah, look, we've removed the hunch. The Hunchback of Notre Dame is without his signature hunch, and you can see he's ready to brawl. Again, the way I typically use these types of mechs, you can imagine that essentially this is going to be run up, stick the barrel into the cockpit, and pull the trigger. Obviously, we can't do anything that cool in the game, but that's how I'm going to imagine it. And yeah, this is the point, Rex. It makes you angry, and that's the point. Like, when I was thinking to myself, what is the most heretical thing that you could possibly do with a hunchback? And then the thought hit me. Put the weapons in the arms, remove the hunch. Now, it's a nothing bag. It's a, I mean, what do you call this? What is the technical definition of the hunchback without the hunch? I feel like we're breaking new ground here. This is a species no one has ever seen before. And we're gonna have to name it. But this is the paint scheme that I was gonna go with. And the reason that I'm doing it is because it's effectively a sports team. You got your 00, and then on the back, if you can't read this, bigger, faster, stronger. Flatback. I mean, matter, that's not, I mean, it's a good name, but at the same time, flatback has some connotations to it that I'm not super comfortable with in this instance. Because flatback is not where we want to be with this mech. But I did say we were going to rename it. So what are we going to rename it? What do we want to call a hunchback with no hunch that puts all of its damage into ammo energy weapons? Plasma rifles, specifically. I mean, the heavy reliance on plasma. What about Spanish for hunchback? Why Spanish? Like, I'm not saying I won't do it, I'm just curious, why Spanish? the no-back. Let's see. Well, you guys have been pretty good about coming up with names for these things so far. I mean, it was you guys that came up with the Disco Inferno and the Saturday Night Fever names. Matter of fact, let me look, because I remember I wrote some names down in my notebook. So the only name that I have that hasn't been used yet is the Bug Zapper, but I don't think Bug Zapper really fits, because we were going to save that for another laser boat. Oh, Cosmic. I like it. The baby back. Are they? Are plasma rifles a Liao invention? I didn't actually read the description. It doesn't say. Baby, you know what? I got it. Here we go. We're gonna go baby back heretic. How about that? Because this is the most heresy. Like, I don't think you would have to put in significant effort to be more heretical with a hunchback than what we're currently doing. And this is also the kind of name that makes people ask, what the hell does that mean? But if you know, you know. So we're gonna go with Babyback Heretic. I like that. We'll validate. It's just gonna rename it. And there we go. So, with our Disco Inferno fully repaired, and with our new Hunchback Heresy ready to go, we're gonna head to the store. And we're gonna do something that we probably shouldn't do. And that's try to make some money in the arena, because I want to test these designs out. So, let me see. Oh, by the way, I wanted to ask, because I feel like maybe I don't understand what's going on. So, I noticed in the most recent videos that released on YouTube, I vaguely remembered having bought one of these permanent contracts for a turret. But I don't know how to use it. Because as soon as I bought the contract, I was like, screw it, let's just use it. And then I immediately forgot that we had bought it. And it only occurred to me when I was rewatching the video that that was a thing. And so I'm like, what? How do you use the contract? Is it like an active ability and I've just been missing it? Or is it because I thought it might be like the drones and the airdrops where you have to equip a piece of equipment. See, I thought so too, Rex, but I mean, I'll have to look at the active ability. Oh, okay, Thanosi, I got it. So apparently there is some piece of equipment that we need to install in the mech. Alright, well if that's the case, then I don't think I've seen that piece of equipment, but we'll have to keep an eye out for it. Unless they have one here. We can have a look. Suite, battle armor, because I imagine if it was here, it would be somewhere in this section. Like where all the like sensors and communication and all that stuff is, but I'm not seeing it. But anyway, what I actually came here for is this. The duels. So we have a solo Hedimag duel, which we don't really... I mean, we could potentially try to use the Grasshopper. Use the Saturday Night Fever. But I kind of want to do this one. The solo medium duel. And, try out this Babyback Heretic. We could potentially lose another 500,000 C-bills. It wouldn't be the first time we've done that since we got here. But I really want to see how well it does. The mobile HQ. Okay, so, well, that makes sense, though, because I had always wondered, like, what is the mobile HQ actually for? But that actually makes sense, to have a support vehicle that can have all those comm suites and stuff. So I'll have to keep an eye out for that as well, but if I remember right, the mobile HQs are pretty expensive. I just never knew what to do with them. But yeah, so that's my thinking. What do you guys think? Do we do a solo duel and put this thing through its paces? Because that's the direction I'm leaning. We could try to do a mission or two first and just, you know, make a little bit of money and things like that. But I personally, I'm all about going for broke at this point. Like, I'm all out of fucks to give. I want to try out this new toy. But I'll leave it up to you guys. Again, it's not a fully democratic mercenary company. But I like to give you guys a say, since it's your money too. After all, if I bankrupt the company, then nobody's getting paid. I got 1 vote for go for it. Yeah, I mean, what is the best way to see if this design is going to work than to put it in a one-on-one duel, right? Let's do it. We're going to buy this contract. And let me make sure before I buy it that I'm not getting myself into something. So this is just a medium mech duel. It's a solo duel. It should be any mech in the medium category. So technically we could get out-tonned if they throw a 55-tonner at us. But that's a risk I'm willing to take.
New equipment available.
So 500,000 C-bills, and it's go time. So here's our solo, and never forget, we still got, we're gonna take it to Santa someday. Not today, but someday. And yeah, if we win, wow, that kind of sucks. If we win, we're only getting 941K. I feel like that's not really worth it. Did this guy not pay his way into the tickets, or what? Screw it. Let's roll. Oh. BattleTech? There we go. Alright. And of course, for whatever reason, Solaris doesn't like battle armor. I don't really know why. But yeah, we're gonna have to... We will say... Let me see. Well, first I want to save the Lance comp again. And I always do this and then never reload it, but I'm gonna save it again anyway. And then we will ditch everything, get all this stuff out of here. And there we go. And of course, if anybody's gonna get shanked out here on the battlefield, it's gonna be me. So I'm gonna take this puppy out for a spin. This is also a pretty big change up for me as a pilot, because the thing is, even though I have a specialization in energy weapons on this character, I've been using a Centurion with an LBX-10 pretty much this entire time, which is not really playing to my strength. This is also part of the reason that I came up with this idea in the first place, because my thinking was, what kind of a mech can I put together that's energy-based and would play more into the strengths of the commander? And this is what I came up with. So in case you don't know, with this energy weapon specialization, we get a passive plus 10 damage and plus 1 accuracy to all attacks with energy weapons. So with us already doing 100 damage, this means we're going to be doing potentially 110 damage, which is a big deal. But let's kick the tires and light the fires. Yeah, Brayden, I would love to get my hands on a Black Knight as well. Of course, and I've said this before in case you're only joining us for the first time. For me, the dream is the Awesome, with as many PPCs as you can put in it. The Awesome is my favorite mech, always has been, and that is the dream. I will do some very, very heretical and war crimey things with an Awesome when I finally get my hands on one. But for right now, as I frequently say, we gotta win with the tools we have, not the tools we want. So today, it's a Hunchback. Tomorrow, a Black Knight, and the day after that, the Awesome. Well, I wish the game progressed that fast. We're nearing 50 hours in this campaign and have yet to encounter a single assault mech yet. Well, that's not true. We ran into an assault mech in the Kringle's Killers mission, But that was an Easter egg mission, not an actual run-of-the-mill contract. Now, my only fear in taking this contract is that we're going to run into some heavy melee thing, because I'm not going to have the jump jets that I need to escape from the guy. So we'll just have to rely on that 8 hex walk speed. Oh, really, Brayden? Yeah, 85 is a little before my time. But I have definitely been in BattleTech since the 90s, so I'm close, but not quite there. Make it a good show, says Darius. Well, we'll do our best. So it's quite a ways to go, but again, we are in a very fast hunchback.
Affirmative.
And there's our enemy contact. Don't know what we're dealing with just yet, but I imagine... Oh my, it's a Treb. Let's see what kind of Treb. See, Typhoon, you say a twinkle in your daddy's eye. My personal favorite phrase is, a stain in your daddy's tube sock, but that's just me. I'm a little crass like that. Wait, what? Really? Is there something I'm missing here? So he says brawler buffs. Alright, he gets extra damage from DFAs and melee attacks. How do I get that buff? You got bulwark. You got extra accuracy for melee and increased walking speed because of a supercharger. But just looking at the weapon systems, this is not very impressive. Not to say that this is not dangerous. Like, this weapon, this platform could absolutely be dangerous, but like, I feel like this is a good matchup since he's coming at us with a Treb, and Trebs run hot by default, and we're about to be putting some serious heat damage on this dude. So, again, Heresy, it's an SRM Treb, which is not what I was expecting, but hey, you know what? I got a maximum of 600 meters on these plasma rifles, so we've got options. Let me see, how do we want to do this? I think I still want to stay in cover, but I want to try to get a shot on his side torso. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we can do both. Well, I think mobility is going to be our greatest ally rather than cover in the trees. So if we move as far as we can in this direction, I want to try to get 4 evasion, but it doesn't look like I can get 4. Well, no, maybe I can. But that involves moving closer. Yeah. How much armor does this guy run anyway? Only 720. Okay, so we've got 300 armor on this guy. I'm gonna take my chances. And this might be a mistake, but we aren't known for our stellar tactical decision making. I'm a little concerned that the damage is... Oh, there we go. I don't know why the damage is a little lower. That concerns me. I'm also thinking this guy's got a pretty hefty engine because he's managed to build up 5 evasion. Thankfully, we have pretty high gunnery, though, so we should still have decent chances to hit, but we're going to have to take the shots.
Locking in all weapon systems.
And that's not good. Because we've only got 10 rounds of ammunition before we have to start meleeing. Oh. Oh. Oh, well, he wants to... He wants to get up close and personal. Alright, well, that might be to his detriment, but we will see. If we melee, we can... Oh, my. I don't know if this is a good idea to get in a slap fight with this guy, because he's getting 35% bonus damage to his melee. But, yeah, I think we hit him in the back. So let's do this. We'll go around for the rear attack. We'll go for the kick so that we can get maximum accuracy and get the shots off as well. And, yeah, let's give him the business.
Coordinates received.
I have a feeling we're gonna have a lot of this back and forth. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Both hits. You love to see it. But those SRMs, they hurt.
Internal damage.
They definitely hurt, that's for sure.
Ready for orders.
And somehow, see, I'm trying to figure out how this happens, because it just happened again. We got an armor breach on the left rear torso somehow. So even though he was shooting us... Oh, no, wait, he was shooting us in the back. Never mind. I thought we were facing this direction, because I'm an idiot and I don't pay attention to things. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get in behind him and melee. So what I will do instead is we will hit him from the side. Then again, maybe it's a better idea to go for a precise shot. I mean, part of me wants to melee just to reduce his evasion. But then the other part of me says we've already breached his center torso in the rear. If we go precise shot from the rear, we might be able to just take this guy off the field right now. But we don't have the morale for precise shot, so I guess it doesn't matter. Let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, that's all we got. Yeah, the issue I'm running into is we don't have the ability to precise shot, but he also didn't move that much this turn because we meleeed him last turn. So I think what we do is we can run up behind him. Okay, game doesn't like that. We can run up behind him, hit him in the rear again to try and get that heat up. And yeah, we got 73% chance to hit, so definitely good chances. I say we take it. And hopefully we'll get enough morale, because we're very close to the threshold. If we get good hits on this turn, we may be able to precise shot next turn, assuming we don't take this guy out right now. So let's see what happens. As always, chat, we're giving him the full alpha. Although that's not much of a statement when you've only got 2 weapon systems.
Targeting for an alpha strike.
And there we go. That's an additional 32 heat, which he's already over his threshold. He's going to have to melee. Oh, he's actually going for the hit. All right.
Critical hit. Bad one, I think.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty bad hit. That's no good. But we're getting rowdy. We are getting very, very rowdy. So I think, can we get in behind and melee? We cannot, and I don't know why. It makes me unhappy that we can't do that. But unfortunately, we're taking a lot of damage on the rear torso, even though we're up armored. We may have to get our distance here, because this guy is kind of putting the hurt on us, and I need to have my rear... I can't keep facing my rear armor to him, or I can't keep putting myself in a position where he can hit my rear armor. So I think we'll take some elevation
On my way. Double time.
to give ourselves a little bonus accuracy. And we're going to come close to overheating, but I'm going to take the shot anyway. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about Cosmic as well. I'm afraid that if I keep exposing my rear armor, he's going to get an engine crit, and that's going to be the end of it. Which this wouldn't be a problem if we had allies to help take the heat off us, but in a one-on-one, we got to be a little more careful. So again, we're going to be really close to overheating, but he's already above the threshold. If we can hit with both of these shots, we're going to push his heat up into the danger zone. So let's cross our fingers and once again, give him the full alpha.
On it.
And of course, we miss with both shots because
Okay.
RNGesus is not my friend and does not like me. Oh, he's taken off. All right, so he's getting away to reduce his heat. That's okay. I mean, he has short-range weaponry, and I have absolutely no problem with being chicken shit and making him come to me. I will put my back against the wall so he can't hit me from behind, and I'll just wait him out.
Let's go, let's go.
Because our front armor is maxed out. And we have range on this guy. So I have no problem waiting for him to come to me. Now, unfortunately, it's going to be a little difficult to get a decent shot. He has done a very good job of positioning himself in such a way that I don't really have a good shot at him. And that's owing to the AI. If I move here, we're going to have an even less chance to hit this guy. So, alright. Maybe we take the shot anyway. I still got plenty of ammo. We got precise shot now, too. Here. This engagement is getting a little more hairy than I thought it would. But I think this turn we'll stand and deliver.
Acknowledged.
Alright, we got one hit, so that's good. Oh, and apparently we now have initiative to go again. I don't know if I want to go again, though, considering how things have been going so far, so I think I'll brace up. We'll let our heat go. And he's now made the mistake of coming out in the open.
Give him everything you've got.
Let me check our armor situation here. We're still doing good in terms of armor on the front, but we won't be able to take too many more hits like that. I don't think there's a whole lot of benefit in moving because we're not going to get much in the way of evasion. And I guess I could do this, but then again, he's going to be able to get right in behind me if I do. So if we do this, give ourselves 2 evasion, 15% damage reduction. And we're moving a little bit farther away, but the problem is this guy's got way more movement than we do. And we've already seen him basically cover half the map in a single turn. So even if I move back here, I think he's going to be fast enough that he could get in behind us and hit us in the rear armor again. And if he does, I think we're toast. So as much as I don't like the idea, I mean, we could try sprinting, get in behind him, and again, make one last vain attempt to hit him in the center torso, but that's a huge risk. Yeah, where I'm at right now, he can't actually get behind me and hit my rear torso, which is why I think the AI is being very, very conservative about how it's playing. But if I move back here, I think he will be able to actually run up. You know what? Screw it.
On the move. Full speed.
It's a 50% chance to hit. I'm hoping we'll take out one of the legs on this. We really need a good hit, so pray for a big hit, chat.
Giving him everything I've got.
And 2 misses again.
No.
Oh, that stings. That stings. You know what else stings is those damn SRMs.
Not much armor left in this. It's go time. Good to go.
Let's see. Well, we do have precision strike now. We haven't breached through on the front armor yet. I could stand and deliver, and we're going to be very close to overheating. Oh no, I'm not allowed to call my shots. I haven't gotten that far yet. Shite. Chat, the dice rolls haven't been going good for us. Statistically speaking, we're due. And we got really good chances to hit. Do we take the shot? Alright, I'm with you, Rex. Stand and deliver. Here we go.
Firing a full salvo.
Oh my god, we got XCOM'd. 91% chances to hit, and they somehow managed to miss on 1 shot. That is an impressive amount of
Okay,
bullshittery.
that was really bad.
So we're starting to get stressed, as you would expect. Now we can, at this point, get in a melee hit from the rear. We're going to have an overheat. We are absolutely going to have an overheat. But I think this is the do or die moment where we're either going to get it or we're not going to get it. We don't have to worry about an ammo explosion because plasma ammo doesn't explode. But we could still take some serious damage. But it's the dumb redneck thing to do, isn't it? Fuck it, we gotta put on a show.
Position confirmed.
Alright, we got something. There goes a leg, so he's gonna be taking a dirt nap regardless. And there we go. Beautiful. Panicked him out of the mech. Outstanding. That was, indeed, a hell of a show.
Mission successful.
Outstanding. You love to see it. We bet it all on black, and we won. And that's the best we could have asked for. That's how you do it, chat. RNGesus didn't have my back for most of that fight. But he took the wheel when we needed him to. So there we go. There's our payout of 933. So basically, we only made about 375k on that mission, which is kind of disappointing. And once we have to do the repairs on the baby back, that's going to go down a little more. But we're doing it more for fun than anything. So yeah, that was a good fight. That was a good fight to start the day. I like it. There was a couple of moments there where I was starting to get a little concerned. But we managed to pull that one out. So yeah, hopefully, like you're saying, Rex, we didn't lose any parts. We just got some internal crits. But we should be able to repair that pretty quickly and easily, I hope. Oh, we'll have to see. Of course, Yang is going to complain about it because he always complains when he has to do work. Oh no, we did actually lose something because we're going to have to refit. Let's see what the damage is. Okay, so we only lost a heat sink and we took some damage to the engine. That's going to be a little pricey to repair since it's a Clan XL. Let's see. Oh, that's not nearly as bad as I thought. Okay, outstanding. I thought that was going to be a lot more expensive with it being Clan, but I guess it's not, so... Color me surprised. I'm not going to complain one little bit about that. So we'll go ahead and replace the heatsink that we lost, and we're good. 21k in 2 days. And we have a design that... I don't know how well it's going to do in a brawl, but... Like, if we're doing this in a duel, we might struggle a little bit depending on what we're up against. But I think as part of a larger unit, this is going to be a fine addition to the Tenori Tiger lineup. So we'll go ahead and get everything fixed up.
Logged and noted.
And while that's happening, if I remember right, I saw in the store... another contract, but was it for light mechs? I don't think it was, though. Yeah, we just have a medium mech duo and a solo heavy. So, solo heavy. This could be another one that we want to spend our time on, and here's why. So for those of you that have been around a little bit, you already know, but we have our Saturday Night Fever, which is a grasshopper laser boat. This technically falls into the heavy category. Again, we might get out-tonned by an 80-tonner. But we're running a buttload of lasers on this thing. We got small lasers, we got medium pulses, we got a tag just for a little extra accuracy, and we've got the Guardian ECM that makes it harder to hit. Yeah, that's my fear, Brayden, is that the Grasshopper itself is not an outstanding heavy mech, and unfortunately it's the only heavy mech that we currently have. So if we end up in a bad matchup, we could potentially get our ass handed to us. So that the Saturday Night Fever is a fun design. I just don't think it's Solaris material, unfortunately. But that's okay. That is okay. Yeah, losing our only heavy mech would be kind of a big blow if that happened. We could bank on the Alpha Strikes to the back as well. The only problem with that is, again, the Grasshopper itself is, in terms of armor, it's not... It's mid-range in terms of its armor, and our heat efficiency isn't great either. So even though... And here's the thing with this. We put the freezer heatsink in this, and even then we're having to cram way more heat sinks into this design to make it viable. And the problem is, on a full alpha, we're doing 102 heat, and we're only sinking 80 per turn. So this thing can hit really hard, but it can't hit consistently. So we're not going to be able to alpha every turn. So that's the main reason that I don't think this is a good fit, because with our heat efficiency, we can get really good burst damage out of this thing, but then it runs very hot. We can get good burst damage. We can, like, you know, if we have one target that's really weak, we can rush in and take it out. But in an extended duel, I don't think this is going to be a good design. Yeah, I think there's too much risk involved in the heavy class, so... Welcome to the stream, Kylaya. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. I know it was a little unannounced Saturday stream, but glad that you could join us. But yeah, I don't think the Saturday Night Fever is going to be good for Solaris. So, but that's okay. Again, we can look at just some regular missions. Don't forget, Solaris does offer standard contracts as well, although most of them are not terribly appetizing, if I'm being honest. Let's see. I like this because of the payout. Potentially 1 million, and this is a battle in the jungle. But at 1 million C-bills, we could be up against who knows what. I do have some relative confidence in our Lance, though. The only problem is, even though it's 1 million C-bill payout, it's only 15 salvage if we take max salvage. So it makes me a little bit concerned that if we don't take the money, we're going to be missing out. On the other hand, let's see, we have a mission for Steiner in the Badlands. They're only calling it a 1.5 skull, but it's roughly the same price and we get more salvage. Let's see, who are we up against? Moderately dangerous. Oh, we've done this one before. This is the one where we have the one person that comes with us, and we have to keep them alive while also giving them space on our lands. The last time we did this, it worked out pretty well for us. I don't know if we'll get lucky by doing it again. Whereas this one looks like it's just a straight fight. What else do we have? We got deniable destruction, destroy base in an urban environment. I don't want to tank the game just yet, so I'm not going to do any urban missions if we can avoid it. Yeah, Badlands I'm also not thrilled about because, I mean, we just did the duel in the Badlands and we saw how much that affected our heat buildup. But Jungle's not going to be much better, unfortunately. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they're roughly the same in terms of the additional heat buildup that you get. I don't know. We got a destroy base in the desert. Seems like it's fairly weak in terms of difficulty, but it wouldn't be a bad idea, I don't think. We could, because the salvage isn't great on this one, we could skip the salvage, go for the payout, just do a quick, because again, at 500, 600k, this will probably be very easy for our Lance. So it might not be a bad idea just to get a mission under our belt, get a little bit of extra funds. Because we're going to have to wait, let's see, how close are we to payday? So we're 7 days away from payday. We're going to have to wait a couple of days for the Hunchback anyway. Yeah. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree, Rex. So I think we wait for the Hunchback, and then we'll do the Destroy Base. Because if we do the Destroy Base, we can wait for all the missions to roll over, and then hopefully we'll have something better on the next go-around. I just want to get us enough money that we can make it past payday without having to worry about going into the red. So let's see. We are up against our friends, the Rassel Hags. Again, I know I'm mispronouncing that, but I do it on purpose.